Car Coach Reports on YouTube. Subscribe to that, carcoachreports.com as well. LaurenFix.com is the easiest way to get all your Lauren Fix news, but you can also follow her on social media at Lauren Fix. Now, if you did so today, you would find out that Lauren Fix is making more predictions, but not just based on, her Christmas spirit, her intuition. She's looking at research and numbers. And Lauren, you're prepared to say on the record today that car prices are going through the roof in the future.
Oh, yes. And it's funny because if you go online, you'll see all these people predicting, the prices are going to drop. They're going to drop. From where? Because I'm telling you, when you see the new EPA regulations for 2024, and I'll be covering this, I'm putting out 2 news segments a week and 2 car reviews a week plus other content. I mean, I've got so much that's going on right now in my crazy world. But if you look at some of the predictions that are going on and you look at the reality, you're going to see that the problem is the corporate average fuel economy goes up. What does that mean? So each manufacturer produces certain cars. So you put cars, SUVs, and trucks. Now, who makes the most trucks? Ford, GM, Ram, right? Those are the ones, Stellantis. So all the other brands like Toyota, they make a truck. They make a Tundra. It's a great truck. But that brings down the average fuel economy of every vehicle they sold. Who doesn't make a lot of trucks? Well, places like Subaru, Honda has a Ridgeline. So the only car manufacturer that met the corporate average fuel economy for last year was Honda. Because Honda sells a lot of vehicles, a lot of fuel-efficient cars that people like, and they only sell one truck. And it's not really a truck. It's kind of like a fun truck. It's not a work truck. And the work trucks bring down the average fuel economy. So what happens? What does that mean? Well, for Ford and GM and Stellantis, you're talking about $1 billion in fines from the federal government, from the EPA. You can thank this current administration. So what does that mean? You figure, so what? How does that affect me? Most people think of, I get a lot of that, like, that doesn't affect me. It does affect you. Because if you've got, it looks like right now, it's estimated combined benefits, it looks like it's going to exceed about $18 billion from the whole industry. That's a lot of money. That money goes to the federal government. And who's going to pay for that fine? You think they're just going to go, we'll just take that out of our pocket, David. We'll just send a check.
Sure.
Oh, no. You're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it every single vehicle they have, and they're going to spread it out across the whole product line because that's part of the cost of doing business. But now you got the UAW rates that went up. I'm not saying that the people didn't deserve to make more money, because they did. They were way underpaid. Now they're getting a better wage, but someone's going to pay for that. And that's, again, not going to come out of someone just stroke a check. That's going to go into the price of a vehicle. Now you've got additional fees and regulations coming in place with these electric vehicles, which every car manufacturer takes a loss on. So what's going to happen? And it's going to get more expensive to buy cars. I mean, and everybody's fighting this, by the way. Don't just think the car manufacturers are sitting on their hands going, oh, that's okay, we'll just do that. Volkswagen is fighting them. They're facing $800 million in fines for the CAFE standards through 2032. They've got people in arbitration with that already. Subaru is fighting it, saying it's not feasible. You can't just keep taking away all the gasoline-powered vehicles that we sell. And when you start looking at all these EPA regulations and all these new Green New Deal things, it's literally affecting every brand. And that's a problem. Considering you're looking at the production of all these electric vehicles, they're not selling what they thought they were, because you don't want them. And that's fine. If you want one, you should be able to buy one. Absolutely. There's some great product out there. And that's coming up next week. But I'll give you a preview what's going to happen with the electric vehicle mandate. The new mandates come into place, and that's going to impact anyone looking to buy a vehicle. We'll talk about this more next week as well. On 31st, if you've not purchased an electric vehicle, you probably won't get that $7,500 tax credit or the state credit. So please, if you're thinking you want a full electric vehicle, buy one before the end of the year. See what they got in the lot. If you're ordering a Tesla, buy it online. You have to take delivery by the 31st. Because after that, only 10 cars make the $7,500 tax credit. 10, of which 2 aren't even available right now. So you got 8 choices. So that means like the Mach-E, which is pretty popular, the Volkswagen ID4, the Nissan Leaf, they're going to cut those tax credits in half to $3,750. That's it. And if you lived, we don't, but if you lived in California or Illinois and you're listening to this on a podcast, they're out of money in their matching state credits. So you get nothing. And New York probably won't be far behind unless they raise our taxes. But so the cheapest of the vehicles available, which they're going to stop making, is the Chevy Bolt EV at $26,000. That's not bad. Get an electric vehicle, you get the tax credit, you get the state credit. It pretty much costs you nothing. But they're going to stop making those because they're not on the Ultimum platform. And that's a special General Motors platform that is made here in the U.S. The only other vehicles that are available, you can get the tax credit: Chevrolet Equinox, the Ford F-150 Lightning, the Tesla Model 3 Performance, not the regular, just the Performance, the Model X, the Model Y Performance only, the Chevrolet Silverado EV, still not available. You can order one, but it won't be in by the end of the year. The Chrysler Pacifica minivan, the plug-in hybrid, the Chevrolet Blazer EV, which is just coming into dealers, and I have reviewed that, and the Cadillac Lyriq, which I have not seen one of those on the street. But those are a little more expensive as well. So when you start looking at that, that's it. So where's the incentive for the consumer to even consider thinking, let's buy an electric car? But maybe it won't work after the storm you were just discussing. A lot of people I know got rid of their electric vehicles because there was no place to charge, and they got stuck in the snow. And
Can I
all
tell
that
you,
resistance
because
on the roadway kills it.
Your segment has given me such anxiety when I watch these car commercials.
Sorry.
And I see electric cars in the desert, and I'm like, they better have a charging station there, right? Like they're testing out all these new EV, four-wheel drive vehicles, and like the Jeep and everything, but they're all driving around, and I'm like, I don't see. There's how many hours do they have left? Like, you can't show these cars and all that they can do when they're electric and there's no charging stuff. That just gives me. I mean, how else? You've got to fix that problem. And, when would battery technology, like a new quantum battery that comes out, you would figure that would be a Nobel Prize winner right there. I mean, this is desperately needed in automobiles.
But you can't regulate technology. You know what I mean? You can say, I want batteries that last 500 miles and that charge in 3 seconds. Okay. Me too. But now let's look at the reality of it all. And there's a lot of factors involved. Super fast charging means you're near alternating current, which has not been described very often. And I do bring it up to people's attention and we've discussed this, and I've had a lot of pushback because people don't want to face the reality. Alternating current is what can cause all kinds of health issues to humans. And they're always saying, oh, sit in the car, sleep in the car, play videos in the car. I'm like, if I get an electric car, I'm charging it nowhere near my house. Nowhere near my family. It just doesn't make sense. The people I've talked to who own the charging station companies have said the same thing, but they won't make that public. It's like everything else. You know what I mean? They push it until they realize, oh, we're in trouble here. We better come out and tell the truth. And by then, people have already been injured or other issues. So, there's a lot of factors involved that people aren't thinking about. Electric cars have a place. They're never going to go away. But it seems that people are starting to wake up to hybrids. There's a lot of great hybrid products on the market. You could buy the new Prius, which is a finalist for North American Car of the Year. And what's neat about that is that vehicle will actually, drive long distances. You get 52, 53 miles to the gallon. You don't have to plug it in. Why is that not a better answer? It's less impact, on your budget as far as, well, not for the new price of the car, but for the, for fuel. And you're getting a lot of charging. If you're under 30 miles an hour and you're sitting in traffic, you're not using any fuel. So you got to think about these type of things. And it really frustrates me. Car manufacturers are really in a pickle. And they have lobbyists. And they have people in Washington. And I've talked to many, many, many of them. And the problem is there's other people giving the politicians even more money to vote a different way, or they have a different mindset. So it's one or the other. But either way, getting them to change things, something as simple as the kill switch we've talked about, or surging prices, or electric vehicles, or all these crazy mandates that are being, get them changed is more difficult than getting them in place.
Can I ask a question that comes up all the time about Christmas time? You see the big gift, the red bow on a car. Do we see a noticeable change in the industry with sales at Christmas time? Do people regularly make that purchase of a new car for Christmas?
Well, it's a good time of year to buy a new car. There's cars sitting in the lot, especially 2023s. Now is the time to get them. Always at the end of the month, at the end of the year, at the end of the model year, dealers have cars on lots finally. So if you're thinking about a new vehicle, there's a lot of benefit, especially if you've got a business, a small business. You can use it as a write-off if you lease it. And there's a lot of things you can do to get good deals. people getting bows on cars. I will tell you something really funny. I know someone who got a brand new car. It was one of the journalist cars that we get, put a big ribbon on it and left it in the driveway so that all the neighbors would be peeved. So they were all, what the heck? You're giving your wife a new car for a Christmas gift? It was just like a joke to tick off the neighbors. So I guess you could do that too. Right. It's a good little trick. But in the reality of it all, people aren't necessarily doing that. But there is, I mean, I think there's one like the Seasons to Remember from, I forgot what brand it is, but every brand is trying to push, they'll give you a big red bow if you want a big red bow and you pay full retail for the car. But there's still deals, so make sure to shop around. We have good dealers in the area, thank goodness, compared to other cities and other states. Buffalo has some really good dealers. And I would think that now would be the time to talk. Make sure that you check with a credit union, check with the dealer to see who's got the best rates. Do your shopping. Always drive all the vehicles you're considering. And since we're coming up to the end of the year and we got the holidays and they're not open on Christmas and they're not open on New Year's Day, now's the time to think about, let me drive those 3 different models. Let me see what works while the weather's nice for the next few days and then make a decision. Because I think Saturday is going to be really busy at the dealers this year because it's coming in on the 23rd. It's not Christmas Eve. It's a great time to buy a car, and I know that all dealers are having huge promotions. So if you're considering a new car or used car, this might be the time of year to take that consideration because the first of the year, they have to start paying what's called floor planning, which is the financing on each vehicle. They don't want to pay that. And then they're less negotiable on the first or the second of the month. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. You can support our channel by buying me a cup of coffee. The link for that is in the description, plus all the links for our website, social media, the book, and my podcast. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.